Thank you. I've lost my voice here speaking against this war, so I'm going to speak quietly. Can you hear me at all in the back there? Well, if you can't, you ain't missing any good news, because I don't have any good news for you right now. I haven't heard anybody else tell you this, so I'll be the first. Sorry for the first for me. 2 days ago, the British paper, the Daily Telegraph, announced that the British government has been told that Obama has decided to send 45,000 more troops to Afghanistan. Is that then everything that Petraeus and Mullen and McChrystal have asked for? No, it is not. He's splitting the difference. It's the half measures that McCain talks about. It turns out that what McChrystal has asked for is 80,000. Let me tell you, as somebody who cut his teeth here in the government working on pacification and counter-revolution in Vietnam, I can guarantee there is not one official, civilian or military, in the U.S. government who believes that 80,000 American troops will bring success. Not one believes that. The numbers being secretly still classified, not yet leaked, in the Pentagon are certainly on the order of 600 and 800,000 troops for Afghanistan. Now, we don't have that many. We won't have that many. We're not going to put that many in without a draft, which we may get in the second term under Obama, actually, or with another 9/11. What it does mean, every troop that can be scraped from anywhere in the world will go to Afghanistan, including every unit, every troop that comes out of Iraq, and hardly any have done so yet in Iraq. But if any are reduced in Iraq, they will go, after perhaps a brief stay at home to kiss their wives and their husbands, they will go to Afghanistan. Within a year, Obama will have more troops in Afghanistan than the Soviets had at their height. And the Soviets did not win. So the bad news I have for you right now is that very shortly, perhaps within days, a new war is going to begin in Afghanistan, the big war. Yes, we've been at war for 8 years, as we were in Vietnam, with advisors from '61 and even before that with the support of Diem. But the war took a totally new turn in July of 1965. I was in the Pentagon during that time, when already the military were talking about the need for 500,000 troops, 700,000 troops in Vietnam. The big war is about to begin, the open-ended war. I wish I could tell you that if enough Americans march this week, we'd avert that, but I don't believe that. So what we're looking at then is the first protest rally of the big war in Afghanistan. That's what this is. It's small. It was small even when an hour ago, when it was a little larger. We're a minority of a minority, but this is the hardcore. As Ann Wright was saying, these are the winter soldiers. I'm telling you, this is the first anti-war rally of the big war in Afghanistan, the first rally of the rest of your lives. It was mentioned that 40 years ago, I was earning a possible 115-year sentence for copying the Pentagon Papers. That was this month. I started on October 1st, 1969. It was clear to me, thank you, it was clear to me that it was worth going to the end of in prison for the rest of my life to have a chance, even a small chance, of averting an escalation that I saw coming in the air under Nixon, which was not averted. It did go ahead. But I certainly, if I was still in prison, I would feel that I'd done the right thing. There's no question in my mind I would go to the prison for the rest of my life now to avert this escalation. But here's one piece of good news. 40 years ago this week, on October 15th, 1969, 2 million people gathered in the streets of this country, a lot of them in this city, 100,000, but in other places, rallies that were smaller than this. And they were gathered all together, as was true in today. It's happening right now, and it added up to 2 million. They didn't think they had any effect at all. The war went on for 6 years, and 4 of those years were after the Pentagon Papers came out. But what we didn't know then was that what we were averting by marching on that day was carrying out the nuclear threats that Richard Nixon had made secretly to North Vietnam. The people who were here with their babies all across the country felt they had no effect, and they had no reason. They didn't know those threats had been made, but in fact, they were averting nuclear war. We can't know what effect we may have this rally, or next year's rally, or the year after that. But we do what we can, and we have a chance, as experience shows us, to save any number of lives. Thank you for being here.